give me one more hit of that shutdown, you know? Like, that's already on the horizon. But for me, the fundamental coins are any game that you want to play, consistency is a main player. I don't think 2029 is going to be a bull run.
Bitcoin is the currency of the resistance.
Paying for something
in
without
exchange for real currency.
Bitcoin still making money for
Being
investors.
called the future.
I give my real dollars to Bitcoin.
I don't think 2029 is going to be a bull run. I think that's going to be the start of the big one. And like what crypto does during that time, like we're going to get an answer. Right as of right now, like things are always subject to change. Things can always change. Just because it always has been doesn't mean it will always be. But for now, Bitcoin has, you know, it's much closer in time to the Dow Jones making a new all-time high than it is a 4-year cycle. Every 4-year cycle thing, like every time the halving happens, it gets further and further out from the a new all-time high. But it's like within 40 days of the Dow Jones making a new all-time high. So is that going to continue? I don't know. But I think something is going to happen to the Dow Jones in 2029. But it's an opportunity, you know? Like, imagine if somebody, like, came up to you in 2021 and was like, hey, you know, I know this, like, Doge stuff is cool, but check it out. November 2022, Bitcoin, it's going to be 15K. Go all in right then and there. That's basically what's happening. We know that 90% in a decade will not be here. But for me, the fundamental coins are XRP, HBAR, Quant, Bitcoin, Ethereum. So I've been doing intermittent fasting, don't know why, but saw good gains in the gym. Consistency is the name of the game. This is the name of every single game. That's the name of crypto. That's the name of financial freedom. That's the name of any game that you want to play. Consistency is a main player. But fasting in general, it will regulate your hormones. They're already talking about lockdowns again. Like that's already like brewing. Like just give me one more hit of that shutdown, you know? Like that's already on the horizon. Two, the second place, the main driver of this bull run is going to be 100%. It's going to be institutional money. So Bitcoin ETFs. And like for me and you, or like really anybody real serious about crypto, like an ETF is kind of silly. Like what does that even mean? Like an ETF, like it's not spread across multiple things. But for, you know, the boomers with all the money, they like that word ETF. And so what that means is like part of their retirement is going to go into Bitcoin. Even if it's only like 2% or 3%, that is a huge market cap. And all of these major institutions like BlackRock, Fidelity, Charles Schwab, like huge institutionals, they've all filed for Bitcoin ETFs. It's not a matter of like if, but it's just a matter of when is the question. Fidelity is now into Bitcoin mining. BlackRock owns 4 of the 5 largest Bitcoin mining companies. Like they're in it for a reason. I can assure you they're not in the business of losing money. Halving causing scarcity also. Yeah, BlackRock will dump huge money in roughly every 4 years. What's your prediction for upcoming months? Like you said, it's going to down heavily October, November. Yeah, I've kind of pivoted from that. It's still possible that we have a back test after a breakout, but I think the next is still we're gonna have a and I've went over this, I guess you haven't been. So one of my recent videos. So this is the 2013 bull run, the 2014 bear market, 2015. This is the 2016 retracement. This was to the 618, and I think I can actually show that pretty well. You can see, which the 618 is 48K. This was the true top. This was the sentimental top. This was Coinbase IPO. This was Google searches was at the highest. This was a liquidation top. So in Wyckoff, you have your bull run, your markup. So you have your markup, that's your bull run. You have your buying climax, your UT, and then you start to get into your markdown. But your UT, if you'll notice, is higher than the buying climax. This is the buying climax. This is the buying climax, and the UT right here is a little bit higher. Okay, so this is the buying climax. This is the UT, but it was back in 2013. It wasn't nearly as mature. But if we look at Google Trends, and let's type in, and let's do 5 years. All right, look, this is in April of 21 and May. This is in October of 21. See that? So April, October. So although it doesn't go to the same level, it's because it's not as mature. And so in Wyckoff, you have a distribution, which it looks like this. This is Wyckoff distribution. This is my bread and butter right here, guys. Even like, so this was like rounded over, but even in the same depths, it goes to the same level. Even the October crash, November crash, October crash, all of it is the same. This doesn't go as high as this, but it wasn't as mature. But in this particular cycle, we went to the 618, and you can see it pretty clearly on this chart because I have it for the same level. And for us, 618 is about 48K. Now it's possible to only go to the 0.5, which is like because Bitcoin's more mature, and that's a thing that the Dow Jones does. And more mature assets, they don't go as high every time. So it's possible for us to get into the 38K range. But in this particular run, we just kind of marched along, until we started getting euphoric. And that's what I think is going to happen. So, but realistically, when we retraced back in 2016, we got to the 618 and we came back all the way to the 382, which this is lined up actually to like how it is going to play structurally. It could go less than this and, you know, whatever, but you get the idea. Yeah, it's not going to be like at no point until 2024 is it going to be like rocking and rolling bullish. It's just going to be marching along. It's just going to be the opposite of this right here. Well, the opposite of this. It's kind of boring, but slightly up, boring and up.